Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I don't even know what this is, because I just want an excuse to talk about all the games we are super excited for next year, maybe even some things we're worried about. And originally, I kind of wanted a one-on-one for this, but, you know, I love both these guys. They're two of, like, my best in terms of, like, fellow gaming content creators I like to talk with. And I figured, why not bring them both on? So there is Gaz from Game On Daily. Hello, sir. What's going on?
Hello. Holla at your boy. What's up? Thank you for having me.
We're going to be talking this Saturday, I believe, in his channel. And also, it's been a long freaking time, but Josh from Quest Mode, who we did last year before the channel got hijacked and stuff, we did our awards predictions for the Game Awards. But Josh, welcome back, dude.
What's happened? Yeah, you are my first collaboration on YouTube. So yeah, it's good to be back. Thanks for having me on the channel. I'm excited to talk a bunch of games.
I forgot about that. It's so great. You know, it's kind of funny because, yeah, literally, so Josh was one of the first people to collab with, and Gaz is like literally one of my newest. So it's cool. It's cool to have both of you on. And yeah, today we are going to discuss kind of free ball. This isn't super structured. We're not hitting game news. We are just simply kind of going through a list of various games that are confirmed for next year, and who knows, maybe even some where like it probably will. We'll see. We're definitely gonna have to hit that for the Nintendo part of this, but yeah, it's gonna be structured.
Just named this show Free Ballin'.
Free ballin'. That's basically what this is. So when this is done, you will see time codes in the description, so it'll be neat podcasts you can listen to. We're going to aim for around an hour and 20 minutes, but we will go through multi-platform, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and if there's time, maybe even hit like someone else's little surprise question I got for you guys. But yeah, right off the bat, Gaz, what would you say your channel you do, and what's the primary system you think you game on?
Well, what we do at Game On Daily, we've created GameOnDaily.com, the platform for gamers. It's going to be the central hub for everything, all things gaming. So yeah, we have very ambitious aspirations, heavy in development, sunk in lots of thousands and resources into it, and we've only started scratching the surface. Our YouTube channel just started this summer, and we grew by 6,000 subs just starting. And I'm really grateful for that. Grateful for content creators like you who've come on. It's all about you guys. So yeah, that's it. That's really empowering content creators. And then that journey of growth with you, it's funny because we've got far less subs than you have. Yeah, we want people to see that progression.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a weird year, hasn't it? But
yeah,
a bit positives through it, particularly in gaming. So I'm hyped. As for particular platform, I'm not allowed to say. GameOnDaily.com is platform agnostic.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Wow. All right. I'll respect that.
Tastes over the line. I mean, there's me and Asa, though, Tony. So our tastes will change quite a bit. I get it from the neck for being a Sony fanboy. I get in the neck for being an Xbox fanboy.
You know, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have a bit more going on because there's a full-on website and stuff. So I get that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Josh, what do you do on Quest Mode, and what would you find yourself gaming on mostly?
So Quest Mode is a preview-focused YouTube channel, youtube.com/Quest Mode. And yeah, I just focus on previewing what I find to be the most interesting games and, you know, the biggest games coming out in the near future. So I focus on quality of content, not necessarily quantity. So if you do subscribe to my channel, you'll notice that I post pretty infrequently, but when I do post, I try to make it very worth your while. So check out my content.
So good. It's so good.
And yeah, so that's my channel. I've been doing it now for just over 3 years, and we were just talking, I had a great 2020, hoping to keep growing into 2021. And what I primarily game on, definitely I'm a PlayStation gamer, but I try to give everyone a fair shake. Like with this current generation, I was fortunate enough to get both a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, and I'm playing on both of them, seeing what I like best. But the games that speak to me tend to come out, on the Sony PlayStation. So yeah, that's where I spend most of my time gaming. I do have a gaming PC, but I never use it for gaming. I'm almost exclusively a console gamer, and I have a Switch. I mean, I try to play it all.
Yeah, I would say this year was the year I got introduced to PC gaming because of I really hit Game Pass hard this year. And so I got to experience Undertale on PC, which is great. But
Dude, Game Pass is dope.
It's so dope. It's overwhelmingly, yeah. So there was something you just said. Oh, so plug into Josh. Like I plug into both these guys. Saturday I'll be on Gaz's channel, and Josh just did a video about this exact topic we're going over, which is like, is it 20 or 30 single player games next year?
20 single player games, 30-minute video. I try to get as much gameplay details as I can in there.
Yeah. So if you want more from Josh, then that's a video for him, and then I'm going to be talking with Gaz this Saturday. And my side of things, you guys know, just be geek, proud, awesome. That's my motto. And I love to build up game hype with you. And what better way to build up game hype than to talk about the games we're most anticipating? And I definitely am on Xbox these days. I've been enjoying my Series X. But like I said, I dabble into PC and Switch. I don't have a PS5 yet. And to be honest, it's because Game Pass overwhelms me. But guys, let's hit some of these. And so the first thing I kind of want to hit is the multi-platform stuff. I know that's much more broad than these other ones, because we're going to hit the big three. We're going to hit Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. But the multi-plat stuff, I'm curious, what is something, or like 5 things, like if maybe up to 5, but like what's something you are really looking for that's going to be across multiple platforms? Gaz, do you look like you're thinking, do you know?
I'm thinking very hard to the point where I'm straining.
You want Josh to go first?
Yeah, I got a list here, and actually I listed out 5. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder too hard here, but I can rattle off the list, or we can go like one at a time. What do you think?
What'd you say about the 5?
I said we could go like one at a time, like I go, then Gaz goes, or I could just rattle on down.
Sure, because I figured some of them we're gonna share, and then when we share one, we'll banter off of each other. So yeah, sure, we could do that.
Yeah.
Top of my list for multi-platform is they're 2. One is coming out really soon, and that's Hitman 3. I think is going to be like, I love the Hitman games, and I recently played through Cyberpunk. Yeah, I recently played through Cyberpunk, and that got me like hardcore fiending for a good stealth game. So Hitman 3, it's coming out January 20th. And those games, if you like sandbox gameplay and you like stealth, like it doesn't get any better. So I think that's going to be really, and I would
argue Hitman's kind of like one of the few espionage games you get these days, you know?
Yeah, like Metal Gear's gone, Splinter Cell is long gone, so totally.
We'll see with Perfect Dark, but yeah, for now, Hitman's it, So I almost put that on mine. I would say... You
were saying crossplay, right?
Just cross-platform. Like multiple, these ones aren't like console specifics, yeah.
I was like, how can you rattle so many names that are crossplay? I'm like, this guy is a genius. Like,
no,
like just
yes,
so,
I know everything that's crossplay.
Oh, you mean multi-platform games?
Multi-platform, yeah. Okay. So, with that in mind, do you have one?
I've never been a massive Hitman fan. I'll be honest with you. I think 2021 is actually more of the year of the year of the exclusives for me. In fact,
it is, which we'll get to.
But I'm struggling to think of a multiplat that I'm really excited for after Cyberpunk just overtook everything.
I mean, sort of shout out to Cyberpunk, because I was going to actually bring that up, where I was like, I think this time next year we will have the true version of Cyberpunk that we were intended to play.
The non-alpha version.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm playing that already because I'm playing on PC, but you're in for a treat.
Yeah. I think that's a fair game to put on 2021's list. I just played it on PS5, and it was definitely not finished on PS5. I loved it, but
yeah.
Psychonauts 2 multiplat, that is a game I'm really looking forward to.
I was gonna bring that up in the Xbox portion, but I was like, it's technically multiplat. It's by one of their studios, but it's still a multiplat game. So it's just, I'm sure Xbox has the marketing rights to it. So, Psychonauts 2, definitely. That's something I'm looking forward to. I'll throw it out there. Something that I don't think anybody here is gonna bring up. It Takes Two by EA and Mr. Dude that likes to curse at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
That game, I always forget his name. I'm so mad, but like that game, he was also developer for A Way Out, and it just seems like he's really going. I think also A Tale of Two Brothers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I like that route that he and his studio is going. They just do like great co-op adventures, and It Takes Two. When I saw like the trailer of the Game Awards, it looks so fun. It looks funny.
Yeah.
It looks charming. It looks like a literal like family movie you'd go to with maybe some sprinkles of like PG-13 humor. The graphics looked cool. Like I was really surprised when I saw it at the Game Awards. I was like, cool. It comes out in March, and I guess if you get it, you get a free copy because they want you to play it with someone. So that's really cool too.
Yeah,
That's what I'll say. Is It Takes
I thought the
Two.
aesthetic for that game looked awesome. Like just like you said, really colorful and fun.
Yeah.
And if you want to get me on like multiplayer or any sort of non-single player,
Co-op.
Tony, you can try and get me to play that game because I do think it looks cool.
That's a inside joke chat between me and Josh, is that he's a single player guy, I'm a multiplayer guy. So
Yeah. I think everyone's sleeping on Deathloop though. I think Deathloop's going to be amazing.
yeah.
That's
Well, that'll sort of be a part of the PlayStation portion, so we'll get to that.
Yeah, it is kind of an exclusive, but so
Oh yeah. What's up with me and these weird quasi?
I know. Gaz is like, I don't know. What's I mean, yeah.
I'll go down the list. I've got some like these are definitely multi-plat games and that I'm looking forward to. So Gotham Knights looks, I think, awesome, and that's actually single player and multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then Hogwarts Legacy, which I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but the trailer for that game looked super dope. I thought
That
it
is
looked
on
great.
mine. So I put like 5 things just because I didn't want to go
Yeah.
too far. And yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, I'm with you on that. Like the trailer was maybe very cinematic. I don't know how an engine it was, but
It was pretty cinematic, but it still looked good.
if it pulls off, that could be a really neat game to just go into like the wizarding world and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll share that with you, Hogwarts Legacy for sure. And that's like across
Yeah.
everything, literally. Except
Yeah,
Switch.
and one that doesn't technically have a release date for 2021, but I'd be surprised if we didn't get it, is Elden Ring, the new game from Software. I have kind of reluctantly become a very big From Software fan. Like, I never really looked
Reluctantly.
their games never, like, when I see the trailers, I'm never like, oh, that game looks like it's for me, but then I start playing them and I just can't put them down.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean with them.
This wait. What was did you do like your favorite games of the year video yet? I can't remember.
No, I haven't, but Demon Souls.
I just remember
is-
last year it was like Jedi Fallen Order, and now if it's this year Demon Souls, there's a
So-
trend happening here.
Well, last year was Jedi Fallen Order. Then I played Sekiro. That was the first game I played in 2021, and I
That's
should have
right.
played that earlier. It would have totally topped my list. And then this year, Demon Souls is my game of the year this year. So yeah,
Hey, we got the sneak peek.
You can
Yeah,
no longer
that's
say
funny.
reluctantly. You clearly have a punch
Yeah.
for this stuff.
yeah, they're great. I mean, the gameplay is rock solid. You just can't. I love it. But and then the fifth game I had on there was, I did some research for the video I made. Lord of the Rings Gollum. Like we haven't seen any gameplay, but it's going to be like a stealth action adventure. Which again, I'm kind of like pining for a game like that. So I think that game looks pretty cool. But I'll stop talking.
Yeah.
Those are mine.
Yeah. Guys, you gotta hit us with one, man.
Well, an actual one. The thing is, it's so like other
You
than
know, like the third party
the Far Cry
stuff. You know, like
6,
from like Capcom or Bandai or EA. You know.
I think Far Cry 6, if they change the formula a bit, because that Ubisoft formula is growing really stale really fast. Although I hear Immortals Phoenix Rising breaks that trend by copying Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But at least it's breaking the trend. And my friend at Ubisoft, actually I shouldn't have said this. Oh, I hear that there are changes afoot. And that gives me hope in Far Cry 6. That's all I'll say without getting my friend in trouble. But yeah, but Far Cry 6 is something I want. I love the Far Cry series. What's the name of that? The antagonist in that? He's such a famous actor. He plays.
I don't know the actor's name, but Gus. He plays Gus
what's
in
his
Breaking
name?
Bad. I
Somebody
don't know
chat.
the actor's name.
Orient, like, yeah.
Guys, he's the guy who Los Polos Hermanos guy. He's
Yeah, I don't know the
Mandalorian.
actor's name. Yeah.
I'll find out.
I'm googling it.
I'm in chat.
I haven't actually done any of the Far Cry games. I don't know why I phrase it like that, but I haven't played one since like Far Cry 2, Which is funny because like it got popular with Far Cry 3. Wow. So
yeah, dude, Far Cry 3 is like an all-time classic. Game is
yeah,
so good.
I hear. There's mostly going to be between us here, but I do want to kind of shout out something I'm seeing in the chat. Silksong. Anybody?
So it's funny, we were talking about Souls likes, and as far as like 2D games, that's as close as I think as you get. But I found Hollow Knight to be just like too punishing. I'd get to a boss and I would have I didn't like how far back it made me go to get back to the boss that I just got destroyed by. So yeah, I'll give it a shot, but it wasn't a big hit for me.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people in the indie community that are really waiting for that. Like every single time there's a Nintendo like indie world, they are always wanting to know, like, tell us something about Silksong. So I don't know. It's like every single indie showcase, it's all I see is Silksong. So I have like so hey Gaz, how about Back 4 Blood?
Doesn't get me.
Not your thing?
Nah, it's not really my thing. A lot of people are hyped for it though.
Yeah. It's because it's been a long time, but that is supposed to be next year.
Is that definitely next year?
That's what I see.
It's just like, is it really what it's supposed to be? Because I was massive. Okay, there's a story behind. Oh, I won't tell you this now. But when we played Left 4 Dead, the first one, four of us friends. I don't know. It was a 4-player co-op. We just went to the shop, bought the game, didn't know what to expect on Xbox, booted it, party chat, and the first 10 minutes were some of the most memorable moments of my life. It was just 4 guys screaming like little girls because we had no idea what to expect, and the game was so cinematic with the way things happened. The only thing is, I've waited so long, and I know it's the spiritual successor to it, but I just need to see a little bit more. It does look like Left 4 Dead. They're really forcing this point, like, it is Left 4 Dead. Yeah. It is Left 4 Dead. It's the same team, but something's missing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a diva, but that could be surprising. I love my co-op and multiplayer.
Yeah. I'm pretty interested in it because, as Josh here knows, I'm definitely a multiplayer guy. And like literally last night, I was doing mini waves of Horde with like 4 of my buddies in Gears, and I love that. I love co-op stuff. But I'm not too big of a fan of. Well, I actually just haven't played Left 4 Dead enough. I just play it when I go to my friends' houses. So this might be the one that I finally dabble into it. We'll see. But I don't know, Josh. It's not a single player adventure, but I don't know if it tickles your jiggles.
But I thought that the trailer that they showed looked great. I mean, the gameplay.
I love how they show cinematic and gameplay.
Yeah,
that's like the best kind of reveal.
So it's not just coming out for PC. Like that's going to be across like Xbox.
That's
PlayStation.
What they say. Yeah, PC, PlayStation 4, and PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. So. Yeah, I'll be across everything except Switch.
Yeah.
But one, like, before we move on, unless you guys have like a little bit more, I'm just gonna get off my last 2 here. Don't forget, GTA 5 is getting its 3rd version this year. It's getting its 3rd version this year. Yep, it was on the 360 and PS3, then it was on the PS4 and Xbone, and now it's gonna be PS5 and Xbox Series.
Crazy.
So it's
game
so
just
funny.
Doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop, dude. It doesn't stop. And I'm really curious to see like how different will it be and what will they do. So I don't know.
Yeah,
probably
is the new heist out yet, or is that?
Yeah, they have a new. Yep, that just came out recently, where you have like an entirely new area to go to.
Yeah.
And a very under talked one that I don't believe either of you will even know this one. If anybody knows in the chat, shout it out. But Century Age of Ashes. This is like, there's another one I'm gonna say later on that's like nobody's gonna talk about, but it was shown in the pre-show of the Game Awards, and it just looks like this really good graphics, like you're riding a dragon dogfighting game. So that's what it is. It's a dogfighting game, but you're riding dragons doing it. And I was like, I don't know why, but this really I'm a sucker for dragons. That's why I'm not into medieval stuff, but dragons specifically, I'm like, man, I miss Scalebound. What happened to Scalebound? But
yeah.
So I don't know. This just looked cool. I think it's Steam exclusive for the time being, but yeah, they say it's going to be next year. So that's my other thing I'll shout out.
I think
Any
I
other
remember
ones?
that. The only other one that popped into my head was Resident Evil Village, which I'm not too excited about. I've recently played Resident Evil 7 again and just was reminded of how much I missed the third-person perspective for Resident Evil. But that is going to be a big game, and there is supposedly a big multiplayer component there. At least that's the rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played 7
I'm
either.
surprised we didn't talk about Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Guys, it's like, it's not me.
I haven't played Resident Evil 7. I've got a VR headset as well. I'm just too much of a wuss to play that game.
Oh, heck
Dude, like
no.
that's not even like you're not even a wuss. Like you've got to have balls of steel to play that game in VR. Like
yeah. No way.
Yeah,
But to kind of like somewhat transition to other things, but just are we gonna get kind of the speculative side of things? Are we gonna get Starfield from Bethesda by the end of 2021? Do you think?
I don't think so.
Gaz says no. Okay.
I don't think so either. I think both that and Elder Scrolls, I think, are going to be like a couple. Well, maybe 2022 we'll get one of them, but yeah, I don't see that. I think we'll get a good hefty like reveal for Starfield in 2021, but
yeah,
I don't think they're going to ship it until 2022 at the earliest.
I think Elder Scrolls is way like that's not a conversation for 2021, but I personally have a little bit of hope for Starfield in 2021. For me and Mad's game, we did a whole discussion about it at one point with Mav and folks there, but yeah, something about it, I don't know. I'm like, what is the big Bethesda release of next year? We don't have one, right? So, no, I mean, that's not true. Never mind.
Ghostwire, Tokyo,
You're right. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that alone actually. So maybe we won't get it. Maybe you're right. So,
yeah.
But anyways, speaking of speculating, though, we're gonna hit a platform that I'm really curious, Gaz. How much Nintendo do you play?
I play a lot.
We've been doing Smash lately. Yeah, that's true. But I want to talk about Nintendo a bit.
Yeah, go for it.
Because of like the big three. So we're gonna get into the big three now. So here we go, guys. Now we get to go to the exclusive stuff. But before we get into that, Nintendo's a tricky one because we don't know what the heck they're doing next year. We know a lot of things that's in the works, but
we haven't known what Nintendo's doing since they released Animal Crossing. Like ever since then, it's like, what the heck is Nintendo doing?
That's it. That's literally it. Like Animal Crossing, I was literally just before this, I was listening to IGN's, they have like a Nintendo voice chat podcast kind of a thing. And they were talking about, like 2019, there was Super Mario Maker 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, and they literally listed like 3 other things I can't remember. And there were so many Nintendo games to talk about. But this year, it's like Animal Crossing, Paper Mario, I guess, and these Deluxe and 3D World being re-releases kind of thing. But it's like, yeah, so I really wonder if this year we will see potentially whatever they wanted to be like their big holiday release, if they did. Like, there is 5 though, but...
Yeah.
Huh?
Breath of the Wild 2, Dragoon mentions that, Dragon, sorry, mentions that in chat.
Like that's like the topic. Like I legitimately put that in the thumbnail because I was like, this year was the 35th anniversary for Super Mario, the franchise. And next year is the anniversary for Zelda.
Yep.
If you didn't know that. So maybe not. It could just get a similar treatment as Mario, but I don't know.
I hope. So the thing is with Mario, because you won one of these. Sorry, that's Super Mario 3. Also, that's really bright there. I missed out on 2 of these Mario games for some reason. So Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy. And I'll be honest with you, Sunshine doesn't vibe with me. Galaxy does, but that just doesn't gel with me. I kind of have to grit through that. If they do, if they do the stupid thing of like limited release in March, that they're going to pull the digital versions as well in March. It's so stupid. Right. In which case, I'm going to start even doing these giveaways and sell them on eBay because I'm going to be a millionaire.
Right, right.
Yeah, but it's stupid, and I hope they don't do that. But I do think a Zelda, kind of expansion would sell gangbusters for minimal amount of work. So, sorry, that was my original point. They could easily churn something like this out because that didn't have that much work done to it. Like a basic up-res barely qualifies as a remaster. So, the piece of shit that I am, I will buy it. I will buy a Zelda 3-in-1. no hesitation. I'll do what I did, buy 5 of them. But it's
here's what they'll do. Here's what they'll do. They'll see like, look, we got Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess in this one package. I don't know if I'm interested in it. And then but it's only available till March or April. Okay. Yeah, so
they're so good at that's such a shitty practice. They are like the Apple of gaming.
Let's not talk about that too much because we're talking about hype. But yeah,
I'm hyped for it. I would love that shit. I would love that shit.
But it is the 35th. It is the 35th anniversary of Zelda. So I definitely think something will happen. Whether it's a collection or if they want to celebrate it by being like, hey, we actually have the sequel already. Which I don't know. Probably not. But I do have 5 things listed here. I don't know, but Josh, is there anything you're aware of from Nintendo next year that you kind of...
There are 2 games that they have revealed and have just been silent on, and one is Bayonetta 3, which they revealed in 2017.
Right.
Literally haven't, and I'm not really excited about it. It's not my type of game, but I know that the second one was like praised as like one of the all-time best action games ever. So that would be a big deal. And then the other one is Metroid Prime 4, but I think we might get a look at Metroid Prime 4. I do not think it'll come out in 2021.
Yeah. No. That's funny because that's kind of like the trifecta right now for Nintendo. People want to see Bayonetta 3, they want to see Breath of the Wild sequel, and they want to see Metroid Prime 4. And those are kind of like the 3 that we have no idea what's going on with them, period. But they just announced them, and that's it. So if we got any of those 3 next year, though, I'd be stoked. But there is 5 things though that like I thought I'd mention here. Super Mario 3D World. It's another re-release, but that's gonna be coming to Switch. And if you haven't played it, it's a legitimately awesome game. It's so freaking wacky to play with friends. There's a video of me and my friends playing. It's so funny. But it does have a Bowser's Fury additional like port of like on it, so that's cool. It's some new content.
Do we know what Bowser's Fury is, or is that just just like said this is an extra thing and it looks
I'm just assuming it's like because have you played the game?
No, I never played. That's one of the like core Mario games I've never played.
It's so much fun, but like it's just that. It's not like some grandiose adventure. It's just classic fun Mario levels, platforming. Yeah. And there's like worlds, if you will. There's kind of like worlds, like sections that have different stages and stuff. So I'm guessing it's just a really big world. Yeah. And there's like 14 of them in the game, so I don't know. But Bravely Default 2, that's from Square Enix, right. But that's Nintendo. So I know there's a lot of people excited about that. That was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, that's coming out soon, I think, like February or something.
February, yep. So that's definitely one worth mentioning. What, Gaz?
Don't you know what that is? I was like, I have to Google that.
That's anime stuff, Gaz. That's your JRPG world.
Okay, that's why I don't know what it's about.
That's why.
That is Bravely Default is as like JRPG as you get almost.
Yeah, yeah. And I know a lot of people are excited about that. But speaking of JRPGs, there's 2 Monster Hunter games coming to Switch. There's Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. Both of those are supposed to come out, which is nice to see for a Monster Hunter because I think their roots are on Nintendo. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of 3DS stuff back in the day, and I don't know where Monster Hunter really got started, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rise looks great. They showed a trailer for it recently. I can't remember where, but
yeah. Like, and that's going to be such a good Switch game. Like just like something to just pick up every now and then when you're out. Yeah. And probably the biggest one we have confirmed, No More Heroes 3. That was supposed to be out this year. Yeah. Yeah, finally. Exactly. There's a lot of people that wanted that. No, I see him, Gaz. But
You can't see in your stream.
yeah, he's not in the stream. He's trying to. There's Gaz's friend at the bottom. But yeah, No More Heroes 3. That's probably the big Nintendo release this year. Well, maybe we'll see. I don't know. But there's 5 that I noticed. But I'm really crossing my fingers that we get like Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, or Breath of the Wild sequel. Like firm, at least like it's either coming out or it's very soon. So,
or even the Metroid Prime trilogy would be dope to get on the Switch.
Yes, yes,
I would love that.
You know how long people have been rumoring that? Yeah,
yeah, like that. I mean, I've played the first 2. I never played the third one. I'd buy it just for the third one so I could play through it. You know.
Okay. So, switching gears, I'm reading that. That's pretty much all we got to say about Nintendo because again, they're the big mystery. Exact opposite, I would say, of one of the big 3 that we know everything that's going down is PlayStation. Like, this is, in my opinion, I want to know, like, from you guys in the chat, like, do you think this is one of the biggest years for PlayStation in terms of, like, their release schedule and what they're putting out?
On paper schedule, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like, if you qualify 2021 as their first year, I guess, is that the first year of PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
I don't know. But either way, it's unprecedented. If miraculously they do not delay these games, and if God of War comes out at the same time as Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo, also unlikely to happen, with Ratchet and Clank, it's just insane.
That's 4 massive games.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Like, this year, I mean, they had a great year this year, too, let's be honest. But, like, the biggest names that come to my mind is, like, Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. But then towards the end of the year, you know, we got Sackboy and we got Spidey. But it was, like just a good year. But then next year, they're, like, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and we'll see they got some new IPs too that they're getting exclusives like Ghostwire Tokyo and Oddworld, Returnal. I feel like, Josh, you're into that one. Destruction All-Stars, which actually looks cool to me. And Bethesda's exclusives with like Deathloop and Ghostwire, but it's just a really busy year with a lot of like new IPs and old. So I don't know, but Josh, what's the most exciting to you?
I think they'll actually ship all those except God of War. I don't know how they're going to do God of War, but I think like Horizon Zero Dawn shipped in early 2017. So they've had like, that's, if you get to early 2021, that's 4 years. I think that game could be done by the end of the year. Gran Turismo, I mean, who knows? I just feel like that's been forever since we got a full on Gran Turismo. And Ratchet and Clank, like that's kind of their big, other than Spider-Man, that's like their big PlayStation launch game. So I'd be really surprised if they didn't ship that. But I think it could be one of their biggest years. Although I honestly think it's going to be tough to top 2020. Like Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. I feel like I know I'm missing some other ones. Looking back on my shelf, here, but,
Demon Souls.
Oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake was this year. I mean, maybe we'll get a look at Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
And I was going to say, is 16 supposed to be this year?
I think that's a good question. I don't know. But
I know it's supposed to be exclusive to them. But yeah, I don't know if it's 2021.
Like with those 3 right there, I mean, that's going to be tough to top 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know. Like seeing, it's just really cool because it's a conversation it's a full on other conversation, but PlayStation has earned all of these big IPs of theirs from making just great games through these, you know, various franchises. And because of that, they have so many, but it's also neat because we are legitimately getting like a couple of them every year, which granted Ghost of Tsushima was something new this year, but still between like Spidey, Sackboy, and Last of Us, those are pre-established things. And then this next year, there's Ratchet and Clank, Horizon, and I keep forgetting what the other one was. But yeah, it's just...
and you mentioned Returnal. I do think that Returnal is like going to be much smaller scale. I don't think they should have priced it at 70. So. It's going to be a $70 game, but I do think the game is going to be very good. So for people who are into stuff like it's a roguelite shooter, third-person roguelite shooter. If that sounds good to you, like I think this will be very, very good. But and then the other thing we've brought up a couple of times is even though they're third party, like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, Deathloop to me looks like that's one of my most anticipated games of the whole year. I think the game looks incredible.
I still don't understand what it is. Like, honestly, because every single time they show gameplay, I'm just like, is this a multiplayer? Because there's somebody else trying to kill you that looks like you play. I'm like, I don't know.
My impression is that there's kind of like a Dark Souls-esque multiplayer component where someone can basically like invade your game and be that other assassin, but you have to turn that feature on. Like you can turn it off if you just want to like go solo,
maybe.
And then you can also invade other people's games and be that assassin, which sounds cool to me. But other than that, it's like an open world. The map is apparently split into 4 regions, and there are 8 different targets that you have to take out over 24 hours. And if you die, you have to start over. So it is kind of like a roguelite. But I think it looks amazing. It's one of my top games of the year.
Gaz, what are you looking forward to most, would you say, in terms of PlayStation?
Well,
next year.
If God of War happens, then yeah, my God, that's gonna be on everyone's list.
My God.
Yeah.
Sorry, had to squeeze it in.
And I do agree. I don't want people to sleep on House Marquee though, because Returnal could be. I know it's not a big budget game, but they. When I what was that? Sorry, the only game Resogun that I.
Resogun was so good.
So good.
Is that the same studio?
Same studio, House Marquee. I think their devs did that. And it's such a good game. I'm trying to get them on to our show actually. PlayStation has an unprecedented year. I disagree. I do think a couple will slip. I think Gran Turismo will slip. I think the kind of Polyphony alluded to it.
By slip, what do you mean? Delayed or like criticism?
Oh no, sorry. It will delay into 2022 because the Polyphony have said that they're going to give it as much time as they need. Do bear in mind, COVID-19 is still happening. It doesn't stop at 2020 like half of social media is telling you. It's just with their meme. I'm sorry. It's here in the UK, it's got really, really bad. It's like a hit record level. So, and I think that's why I can't say that. With any confidence that these games are going to come out. Sure. Horizon Forbidden West, fine for what absolutely. I think Josh, you mentioned 4 years in gestation and development. They've got their game engine.
I think
built.
so too.
Similar to how God of War, they're going to be built on the same engines, so they can happen. Pretty sharpish, but yeah. I mean, ultimately though, even if with this couple of cancellation or delays, whatever. Sorry, delays, not cancellations. God, PlayStation has the strongest year in the book, unless we get some real surprises. Minus one big IP on the green team.
Which one?
Tony, you cannot look at me like that. Like you don't know what I'm talking about.
We're talking about PlayStation though, and then you bring up the green team.
Because I was saying Sony has it in the bag unless there's only one IP.
Oh, you're bringing up the competing stuff. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I have to have lens on all the time.
So I want to jump into this because this is like what I mean. Like so like Gaz is saying, if God of War happens, that's his thing. Like for me, it's like I really want to. I still have not played Horizon Zero Dawn. I really want to. It is on PC. And I maybe that's how I could play it because I don't have a PlayStation. But like, if I play that, I have a feeling that sequel will be my most anticipated. But since I haven't played it, I'm so stoked for Ratchet and Clank. I might have to figure out a way to borrow, because that's how I've been playing these PlayStation games. I just borrow my friends sometimes, just like if there's just one game I need to play. I love Insomniac. I still to this day, when PlayStation got him, I was like, lucky bastards. And I've always loved Ratchet and Clank. And so that'd probably be like my personal level one. Josh, I think you said that's not your franchise, right?
No, I've never really been a huge Ratchet and Clank fan, although I am excited to see how they handle the whole like level swapping with the SSD.
yeah.
Like I think that looks super cool. And I'm actually gearing up to hopefully make some content about that. And in doing so, I'm going to play some of the old Ratchet and Clank games. So I do hope to get kind of on that train because I think the game looks amazing. I mean, and after playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, like Insomniac just makes silky smooth games. Holy smokes.
That's a great way to put it. Yep, just smooth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like especially going from I went from Miles Morales to Cyberpunk, and it was like, dude, that game has so much jank, but Miles Morales had none. You know, so I'm looking forward to that.
Insomniac knows how to make things move well. But what was your most anticipated? You say?
Mine. I mean, to be honest, out of the PlayStation exclusives, it will be Horizon, but also again, I said it before, but Deathloop. I think gameplay-wise, Deathloop looks to be doing the most interesting stuff. I think that with Horizon, we're probably going to get another kind of by the numbers open world, which is cool. And I think the combat of, like, if you play Horizon Zero Dawn, that game has some of the best combat of the generation.
I watched my brother play it for like a couple hours, and I was just like, "This is so cool!" Yeah. So,
and one kind of underdog that I want to bring up, I don't want to forget, is Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I think a lot of people.
Oh, thank you. I'm so mad I didn't bring that up. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. That game looks beautiful. I got to be honest, that would actually be right alongside Ratchet and Clank, just because Pikmin is my favorite Nintendo game franchise ever. That isn't like Smash Bros. And that game has a little element of Pikmin, it looks like, where you could just take these rocks and that you could use them. I love that. So yeah, that game looks awesome. That was also supposed to be this year and got pushed back, so we'll for sure get that. Okay, so let's talk about the green team. Gaz, I like that name, the green team. And they're kind of in the middle, funny enough, I would say, because Nintendo, we have no idea. PlayStation, we have all the idea. And Xbox, I would almost describe it as like a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of things kind of up in the air, but also a lot of AA stuff. Because the thing that everybody always retorts to is Halo Infinite, Halo Infinite, Halo Infinite. But what else? That's my first question, is like, what other than Halo Infinite, is there anything that catches your guys' eyes? I have a few things listed, but curious.
I think maybe they might reveal, or they might release this year, Hellblade 2. I mean, I kind of hope they do, because I don't know what else they've got.
I hope so much they do, but I don't think so. Well, they could, because I've heard the transition from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5 will be, they're trying to make it as easy as possible for developers. So we'll see, but I'd love that. I'm in doubts, but I would love it.
I don't think that will happen. They've had problems with mocap. They've also, their initial manifesto was always after 2 years after launch anyway. So it just doesn't seem likely, because, you know, the Xbox Series X is going to get its next gen only version of games in 2 years after launch. So I don't think you'll see Hellblade. I'd love to. I'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm happy to be proven wrong. It seems like there's a lot of anemia as far as a very anemic year for Xbox, but then you've got this fat, possibly well-cooked steak with Halo Infinite.
Right.
But you, like you said, Tony, you've got a couple of AA's. Scorn and the Medium might surprise. I hope they.
I want to bring those two up. Yeah. Because there's like 5, so I have 5 to like somewhat bring up. The Medium and Scorn were 2 of them. Yeah, for sure. And the Medium we're getting. Honestly, I have a feeling that game is actually ready, but they're like, let's just use the excuse of Cyberpunk to polish it up more. And especially after Cyberpunk, they're like, yeah, we could polish this. So, the Medium, we'll see. And that kind of goes with a lot of the other things I listed, though, is like, you know, these very unknown and like AA IPs and stuff. Nothing like huge AAA established things, because all those things, you know, there's like Perfect Dark coming back and Rare with their new Everwild and you know, Forza, like there's all these things we know about, but in terms of like 2021, it's a lot of AA stuff. But the Medium could be cool. That could be and that's a Series X and S exclusive. So maybe like Ratchet and Clank, showing how instantly loading different worlds are. And Scorn visually looks great, I think. I'm not sure if I want to play that game, but visually it looks stunning. And that's also a series exclusive. So, Josh, either those wiggle you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those games. Yeah, the medium looks like it could be very much my jam. Scorn, I'm with you. It doesn't like really appeal to me. It's a little bit on the gross side. However, I do think it looks really good. Like the graphics in that game look awesome. And
visually that game's
And the research that I did, it's like, it's like half, the developer said it's like half action, half puzzle solving. And that also sounds like my thing. So maybe it'll surprise me.
Yeah. Gaz, were you about to say something?
No, I was going to say, I get the Geiger-esque style, the Geiger style art style is it's intriguing. It pulls you in because it's so odd and so unique, but it's so disgusting. Half the stuff looks like really weird alien porn. It's like, what is going on? Like, my brain is pregnant from watching this. But I think the Xbox it's going to be weird. Like, someone actually asked this in our show last week. It's like, is that good enough? What about day? The momentum in building up hype is really important. So I think Xbox are feeling that. So I think you may get a few surprises. I think Xbox kind of alluded to that as well. Some unannounced 2021 games, whether they're AA or AAA, I don't know.
The thing I do like about Phil Spencer, there's an interview he had where he's like, we don't want to announce a game until we know for sure that it's like happening and stuff, like especially after Scalebound. We don't want to talk about anything that like we're not doing. So that's nice to hear. But I have a feeling this year, because there was a crazy month, like in this year, 2020. I think it was August. It was either July or August, but they put this picture up and it was like, this month, here's the preview of Grounded, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Battletoads, Tell Me Why, and Wastelanders 3. And all 5 of those happened in 1 month. And I was like, wow. And I have a feeling that kind of train is going to happen this year, where like none of those 5 are huge titles, but they're just going to have like a lot of AA titles coming out pretty frequently, like the Medium and Scorn per se. So
I think that Game Pass makes that more viable.
Yeah. Game Pass is
and you mentioned Flight Simulator. I don't think that's going to like really move the needle, but when that comes out on the Xbox Series, I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm
excited for that. In fact, I'm going to say that's definitely something on the Xbox side of things I'm looking forward to, because I don't think that would run well on my PC, and I want something to showcase my Series X, and I think that game's going to be the thing to showcase. Yeah. So,
and it looks amazing. Like, it's jaw-dropping. Like when I played on my PC, I just thought, that's uncanny. I think people will be Xbox needs that, desperately needs that, in my opinion. After all this chest beating on power, to be slapped around by the PlayStation in the power stakes, relatively in terms of power. I think that's going to be, that's interesting you mentioned that. That's going to be a big one.
But I think Gaz brings up a good point about Game Pass, because like this year, I think IGN did this list of like they did it for everything, like what was our game of the year for the Xbox side of things, and I need to check this out, but I think it was Call of the Sea, which was like, again, this is just this indie game that nobody knows about, but yet it gets up there, and I think it's thanks to Game Pass that people play it, and I think that's going to be the thing. They're going to be like, this year there's going to be a lot of new IPs and stuff we discover, whether it's from their first party stuff or not, but Game Pass is going to be great this year. And 2 potential things for that, 2 more things that, again, these are not AAA, but Crossfire X, that's a thing coming soon in terms of like, that's a shooter, and it's going to have an entirely new campaign that's being developed by the same people that did Control.
Remedy.
Remedy's doing the campaign for that, so that's neat. And
I think that's going to be a surprise hit, that one.
I think so. And everything I've seen of it looks great. And 12 minutes. 12 minutes is a very indie game. Dude, Josh, I was going to say, I feel like that one you might click with, but...
Yeah. I forget that game is supposed to come out this year. That's absolutely on my list. I think that game could be kind of like Ken and Bridge of Spirits, like one of those indie games where if you don't have a Series X, you're going to be like, man, I wish I had one so I could play that game.
Is that Series X exclusive? I mean,
so everything I listed there, like, that is a Xbox One, Series X and S, and it will be on PC. So it's a console exclusive. Yeah. Whenever you say console exclusive with Xbox, that means you can't get it on PlayStation. So,
one indie game that really, really depresses me, especially after Cyberpunk's fiasco, is do you remember the last night that a Cyberpunk 2D game? Oh man, guys.
Oh yeah, what the heck happened to that thing?
That got shrouded in some controversy, and then there were some development troubles, but apparently it's still in the works. But that
trailer looked awesome. I remember that was I think that was might have been the same E3 where they had Cyberpunk on stage. I can't remember, but it was a while ago.
Maybe. Oh, which reminds me of The Ascent. I don't think people should sleep on The Ascent.
I did have that on my list too. I didn't have it highlighted, but yeah, when I saw The Ascent, that looked cool. And that is an Xbox exclusive as well. So, Stalker 2 also, that's another one. Yeah.
You know what? That's funny. You're realizing the same thing I'm realizing. that
they have a list. They have a list. It's just none of them are like huge AAA, but there is a list of like Xbox exclusives. They're just not like a huge thing like Halo or Gears or Forza, you know?
And that's a massive kind of shift for Xbox anyway, because they did not. I mean, there's ridiculous. In fact, you would actually say, and this is kind of weird, I'm realizing it as I'm speaking to you live on it, but does the Xbox have more variety of experiences compared to others? Well, I have to draw the comparisons because I'm a dickhead, but it's like you have to kind of like the Xbox was like the racer game, but now it's got an RTS, you've got Ascent, it's like isometric shooter, you've got Flight Simulator, you've got RPGs, you've got so much, and it's just mad, it's weird. And I love to see indies get propped up, and I love to see smaller studios get propped up. And for me, they're the risk takers anyways in the industry. Yeah. So it's really cool. Like as we're talking, we're just realizing more and more. There's a shit ton of games actually, and I just hope they do well.
Yeah, and a lot of them are exclusive. Like, I mean, even if you look at 2020, like they had Wasteland 3, they had Grounded. Those are like two games that I know reviewed really well, and I know I missed Call of the Sea. You mentioned that's another one which is on my list of games to play. So. Yeah, I think with Game Pass, it absolutely has more variety, especially if you don't want to spend a ton of money.
And there's so much. Yeah, that's to me, honestly, that's like the number one reason. Like, if I only had one, I got the Xbox, just because Game Pass saves me so much money. And you discover a lot too. Like to go with this list, you discover so many new games that, like, again, they're not big IPs, but it's just like. That looks interesting. I'll try that out. I have it, so.
Well, if you buy Microsoft Flight Simulator, would you pay 50 quid for it or wherever it is in America?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably $60, and I wouldn't pay it. No.
Exactly. I wouldn't buy it.
So that's kind of like the story with Xbox this year. Is that like they don't have like many AAA stuff, but I mean we can't you can't be on my channel and not run by this for like just like a couple minutes. That Halo is gonna be how they want to end the year with. Instead of kicking it off. And that also kind of tells me maybe they don't have a big AAA surprise. They could, but I feel like that's how you would want to cap off the year, is to have your flagship and it be as polished as hell. And that's definitely, I'm looking forward to that.
There's another one. I think Jeff Grubb said it on our show. He said he thought he was quite confident that Forza Horizon 4, 5, whatever the hell it is.
Really?
He's got sources as well. I'm not putting him out there before anyone quotes him, because people started misquoting him on shows and then got in trouble. But what I will say is it does make sense. It's not going to be gutting the new engine up or anything. That engine is amazing. Playground games are massive, and all they have to do, I say all they have to do, but essentially the game needs to be set in Japan, and then they killed it. Everyone's waiting for the Japanese version of that game.
That's what I hear too. Yeah. But we don't know. But Halo's like that AAA that we know for sure is next year. I mean, it has to be next year, because if they really do, I know, guys, you want to start a whole movement on this, but if they're putting it on Xbone, then it can't wait any later than next year. They just can't. So, but is there any thoughts you got, Josh, about Halo? Infinite specifically, we're talking about?
I hope it's the best Halo ever made. That's a tall order, but that's really what I'm hoping. I don't think like Xbox's future like hinges on Halo, but
I don't think so. Yeah.
It definitely will make a big difference, you know, if that game is really good versus if it's just okay. And I think if it's really good, then you know, Xbox will be sitting pretty. And you know, both the single player and the multiplayer, I like what I've seen from the single player. I do think that it looked a little underwhelming graphically, but like gameplay wise, I think the game looked awesome. And you know, I'm excited to play it. And yeah, so I've only played Halo Combat Evolved, the first one, and I played it on the collection. I forget what the Master Chief Collection.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I have not played Halo 2, 3, 4, 5, Reach, ODST.
What?
And I have the Halo. Well, obviously I have Game Pass, so I can play any of them right now. So yeah, I know. Shame on me.
I'm judging you. So
we're gonna stream this. Josh and I are gonna co-op the entire Halo series. Start a movement. Oh my god!
Dude, I'm totally down to co-op it. That actually sounds like a good time.
Dude. Man!
But just enjoying it with someone else.
I played Combat Evolved, you know, when the Master Chief Collection came out, and I was not all that impressed. I was like, you know, this is obviously
when the Master Chief Collection came out.
Yeah, I didn't play it.
Josh, bro.
Why not? So, no, the campaigns ran fine when it came out. It was the multiplayer that was shit.
The single player, like it played great, and it was fun to like switch back and forth. I just thought it was a bit repetitive, and but you know, at the time it was like a 15-year-old game. Now it's like a 20-year-old game. So yeah, I give it credit for that. But
even at the time, it was repetitive. That level design got critiqued. So yeah.
Let's not turn too much into a Halo podcast.
You can't. If you can talk Xbox, you have to talk about Halo, and Halo is such a massive force. But Josh, you made a really good point that even though Xbox isn't just Halo, it is still at its nucleus. If Halo is bad, or no, actually, what you said was it can be an okay game or it can be a great game. But if it's not a great game, that kind of, even though you can't quantify this kind of feeling or whatever, the goodwill in it, but for the rest of the generation, I do think that will have a massive impact on how people, including core gamers, perceive the Xbox.
That's what I was going to say. It's just, that's the face. That's the face.
It's a face.
Yeah. So, and it hurts when your face isn't as regarded. So
yeah, and I mean, like Xbox just might look a lot different, you know, when they bought Bethesda, and they have the developers behind the Outer Worlds. What's the Obsidian? Yeah. It's like with those, like maybe by the end of this generation, Xbox will be like the RPG machine instead of like the Halo box. I mean, who knows?
Well, people are saying that Elder Scrolls Elder Scrolls is the bigger title bigger than Halo, so now no longer needs Halo. I still disagree with that, but it gives you perspective. You're right, though. It could be. Yeah. It feels like it's going back to the core. It's weird.
Yeah. So I want to kind of sort of wrap this area up with something I see from Steffi in the chat. She says, like, I agree Xbox has a lot of variety. I played more games this year than any other since I got Xbox Game Pass, and that's just for PC alone. And that's kind of the point here, like we were saying before, is that it's super important for Halo to be at least good, if not great. I hope it's great because, I think it's important for your main IPs to stand out. That's what PlayStation's doing so great. But if it is alongside Game Pass, like doing this thing of discoverability, and like you guys are saying with Bethesda now being a part of the equation, and earlier, Gaz, you were saying like the variety sake, you know, there's so much like between Pyschonauts, you know, we got platforming with Double Fine and all these RPG people, and you got the shooters, you got your racing. There isn't that one game that like has a universal everything kind of a thing, but you just have so many different options. And I think that's what Xbox is trying to do. They're trying to have all these AA things, and we'll have the AAA stuff soon, but you just have options with Xbox, and I think that's what they're going for with Game Pass, especially. Excuse me, Game Pass especially. So,
definitely. And I expect Sony to copy that as well very soon.
So, Yeah, they probably will. They even tease at that a little bit, which I'm sure you talked about on the show before. But so as we begin to close here, it's interesting everything we said, but I have 2 questions that I want to present to you both. I want to know, what is your low-key most anticipated game? So it's like something you don't see a lot of people talking about. It's maybe like a AA or an indie or something like that, just something kind of low-key. And then what's your like most anticipated game, period? If they're shared, cool. But
yeah,
whoever wants to go first with that.
You go ahead, Josh, and I'll rack my brains.
I mean, I wrote down 3 before the show. We've covered them all, but the 3 that I'm most looking forward to that I don't think are going to be just like blow the doors off, 10 million sellers are The Medium, Returnal, and Deathloop are my 3. I think are all 3. I think look to be doing interesting things gameplay wise. And I was thinking back to like what I played in 2020, and I played so many third-person open world games. Holy smokes! That like I'm looking forward to getting into stuff that's just not that, and these all look to be doing something different, kind of taking risks. I think The Medium, with the 2 worlds, and it has like fixed camera angles, like old school Resident Evil, which to me is cool. Returnal, that coming from Housemarque, they literally have like almost a perfect track record when it comes to games that review well. And then Deathloop, I just think, with Arcane Studios, what they did with what's the game, the stealth game they came out with? I'm drawing a total blank here.
I always say Darksiders, but it's not. Dishonored. Sorry. Dishonored. Yeah.
If they can kind of maintain that standard of quality with Deathloop, I think that game is going to be really, really good. So those are my 3. There's none in there. I couldn't think of anything that we haven't talked about yet. I feel like we've kind of covered everything.
I mean, but we covered all these things. So that's why I'm saying this is kind of the free area where we covered multi-plat, we covered Nintendo, we covered Xbox, we covered PlayStation. But like, and just after talking about it all, like, is there like just like a one thing that's like, okay, if I give the award to my most anticipated game of the year, it's this.
It's probably Deathloop, to be honest. I think.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, I think that the gameplay looks cool. It looks super stylish. It's got a mix of like stealth and action. You have like these supernatural powers where you can teleport and just snap people's necks, or telekinesis where you can throw people. It just looks like it's doing a bunch of crazy stuff, plus this idea of the whole island being this like assassination puzzle that you have to solve. Sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah. All right,
that's a good choice. That's a good choice, and I like that you picked that game because
it's not something huge.
Yeah, a lot of people pick.
Yeah, honestly, like the huge games, like Ghost of Tsushima is a great example. Amazing game, beautiful, like it does everything really well, like runs well, looks great. But it's another open world that I feel like I've played that game before.
I see. Okay. And so you want something different. Gotcha.
Yeah, which is exactly why, heck, I love robot dinosaurs. Who doesn't? But Horizon, I do think, is going to be kind of yet another third-person open world game.
Yeah,
you just reminded me. I forgot to mention something earlier. Age of Extinction or Second Extinction. You know what I'm talking about? The dinosaur game that you're shooting dinosaurs. Whatever. I'm like, I think that looks cool.
Did that not come out? Are we still waiting
I'm
for
really
that?
confused because a lot of people have been playing it, but they're playing like the alpha or something. But it's not officially out. It's a weird situation. I don't know, but it's not out on Xbox yet, so that's going to be an Xbox.
Yeah,
that's going to be a console exclusive
for
Xbox
games. Actually, we didn't mention it, but I think Arc 2. No one brought that up. I don't know when that's coming out. Is that 2022?
I don't know. Yeah,
but I mean, it has Vin Diesel. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
he's been good in games. I mean, he was in Chronicle Riddick, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
But he was also in Fast and the Furious Crossroads.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Well said, actually. Yeah. I mean, we need a Turok game, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah. Give me more Turok.
Oh yeah.
Definitely need.
Gaz, you got a low key one and just one overall you're anticipating? If you don't have a low key one, it's okay.
I do. I haven't seen much gameplay for it, but I really liked what Stray was doing. Stray, you pick the cat. I haven't seen.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yep.
Straight.
Perfect. That's why it's under. Yeah. Yep. There we go. Yeah.
It's got everything. Cats. Who doesn't like cats? Cyberpunk, future, indie. It's not like it's all the ticks there. It's a PlayStation exclusive, I think.
Yeah. It could be a cyberpunk untitled Goose Game, basically, but you're a cat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love that they've taken the risk with that kind of risk. That's a good one. Like similarly to Cyberpunk, as you can tell, I'm a sucker for Cyberpunk because my number one movie of all time is Blade Runner 2049. But I think Ascent is also a really good, like a low key one. I like these low key. I think I think the industry is seeing a shift here now. It's particularly in gamer sentiment with services like Game Pass. You'll see these low key ones as gaming becomes much broader and to the mobile audience. We won't say that that's a low key game because someone will. It's going to be really varied. We're going to move away from AAA, I think, just because of budgetary things and just the way things are. But I don't know why I'm even saying this. You didn't ask for a commentary from me about the state of the industry. But going back to the topic at hand, I do.
You're good.
Yeah, my most anticipated has to be Halo. I'm a Halo fiend. I am most critical Halo fan out there, as you know. I'll be banned from the forums multiple times for speaking my mind. But in an impassioned way, I think Halo has so much potential. And I do think they'll actually, despite all my grumblings, I think it could be one of the best Halo games we have had yet. So
I'm with you on that. The blog that they did recently is so amazing. It's a long read, but I highly recommend everybody reads every word of that thing because it's so good. For me, I would say low key. I should have given this some thought. I'm the host here. I could have done so, but it's kind of tough because there's a lot of great low key ones actually. You know, off the top of my head, there's a game I always come back to. This is like one that we didn't even bring up this entire show. It's called ExoMecha.
I was just to say that when you guys talking about the other game.
Dude, so like if you haven't seen, like those watching this, or Josh, I don't know, your face is like, okay.
I think I've heard of this game. I might have seen it and not remember it, but
it's not. Josh, it's not a you game. I will say it's not a you game. Well, maybe, I don't know, but it's because it's like a shooter, and it was another thing that was like in the pre-show of the July event, and I believe this is like it's gonna either be free to play or come to Game Pass, but its ray tracing is up the butt good. Like, it's so good. It's like the shiniest thing you'll ever see. And you're just playing as these like mecha looking soldiers that have like really shiny armor, and it's like a shooter, and you got rocket launchers and stuff, and there's these giant metallic dragons on the field and giant robots with like a sword and shield or something, but it's a shooter. And you're like on some big island for like a battle to unfold. I don't know. Like, I'm like, this game visually looks stunning, and I don't know why I'm looking at Power Rangers, the video game, but
what's it called?
ExoMecha, like EXOMecha.
Writing that down so I can look it up after this show. I'm gonna check it out.
It looks sick. It looks chrome. Like, and the manifesto.
Chrome. That's the word. Chrome.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what do you want? We want chrome. We want ray tracing. We want dinosaurs. We want giant robots. Like a little kid. So I want shiny things, big robots.
That's what I mean. It looks so stüpid, but it looks so awesome. Like, that's what I mean. It just like, so.
There's a guy riding a rocket, like literally surfing on.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I read they had like a developer diary. I think a lot of people after that July show had a developer diary, and they said, I think they intend to have like a campaign in the game as well. It's not going to be like multiplayer focused. So I'm just curious about that. And I know it's not one that people are talking about. What was that?
Yeah. I was going to say, before we slept on Devolver Digital and Shadow Warrior 3. I think that looks sick. People don't. Have you seen the gameplay for it recently? It looks sick. Devolver Digital, these are the guys, well, publishers anyway, but Shadow Warrior 3, I've never played one of their Shadow Warrior games. It just looks sick. Do check it out if you haven't checked it out. I think people will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to check that out. Yeah, anything from Devolver usually. I mean, I actually, my channel got a big, like, early on, I got a lot of my early subscribers covering indie games. I don't as much anymore, but
Yeah.
Anything from Devolver looks great. I don't know what Annapurna has in the pipeline for 2021, but anything they do usually is just awesome. So
I think I want to know if they're doing 12 minutes. I kind of want to know.
I was just thinking that. I bet they are. It seems like something they'd be up to.
It does. Like, even if they're not, it just seems like that'd be a game of theirs. And so the most anticipated from me is, like, for sure not Halo. Oh, no, I'm kidding. It's Halo. Yeah, it's of course Halo. Like, it's me. No, yeah, Halo Infinite's definitely mine, but that's definitely the fanboy in me talking, because that's literally one of my two favorite franchises is Kingdom Hearts and Halo. And Kingdom Hearts has kind of fallen into a place that I don't like feel the same as I used to, but Halo, it's like I still hold on, and I still love playing the Master Chief Collection, and I enjoy custom games, especially in Halo 5, and I can wait, and I want to see this game be great, and I'm glad they're taking the time to do so, and I'm glad they got like the original godfather of Halo being the new director, basically, and I can wait, and I'm excited for it. I hope it's great. And Ratchet and Clank would probably be the runner-up, but yeah, I'll say, like, I'll just add that sprinkle just so we don't have two Halos here, but yeah, Ratchet and Clank probably be the runner-up.
I can make a bold prediction about Halo. It will be the best Halo I have ever played.
What is your address? I need to find out where you live. Strap you to a chair, play that game co-op.
Honestly, all right, so here's like between 2 through 5, ODST and Reach, what do you think? Should I just start at 2 and just go on, or is there
I do release order. Release order, yeah. It's not like deadly important to do so, but it's neat to see like how they innovated with each game. So yeah. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. I'm glad, because we hit it like under the 1 hour 20 mark, and there's so much we could still bring up. But I do want to plug in 2 things really quick. One, Josh has an entire video about this. Sorry, I'm inverted. Quest mode. He's got like 20 great single players. And Gaz is talking about great gaming news every week. I'm going to be on his channel Saturday. So check out those 2 things. Guys, where can people find you? Let's go Josh first. Where can people find you? And what's a final statement about 2021 that you got?
So people can find me, again, youtube.com/questmode, or I'm on Twitter and Instagram at questmodegames. And one final statement about 2021 is just like, let's be positive, man. Like, this year has got to be a good year, and I think a lot of that is up to us as individuals, not to like get on a soapbox or anything, but let's make 2021 a good year, regardless of what happens, but let's hope that good stuff happens as well. So that's it.
Cool. Gas.
Yeah, you can find me at GameOnDaily.com. YouTube channel is Game On Daily, one word. And yeah, echoing Josh's sentiments, 2021, let's be positive. Not for all the reasons he suggested, but finally, so I can get laid in 2021, because...
Amen. Dude, I got more action in Cyberpunk than I got in all of 2020, dog.
That's me too, man. Me too. And that's not even through a relationship I fostered in the game. I had to pay someone in the game.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. This needs to be a clip. My final statements here is 2021. I am definitely looking forward to in terms of the gaming side of things, because this is going to be the year we kick off with these next gen systems, and I'm really looking forward to seeing stuff coming out. We probably won't max it out by the end of the year, but there's a few titles that are exclusive, and we'll see some neat things probably by the end of it. And gaming is, I think, how a lot of us got through 2020. So it's going to be great to keep at it in 2021, and just for the same reasons you guys said. So obviously you guys are where you can find me, and I am so appreciative to have you guys on. This is great. So thank you for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right. Be geek, proud, awesome, everybody. Take care, and we will see you potentially on Game on Daily Saturday, and Josh's channel as well. And that's a wrap. Happy New Year. Bye.